Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm continuing my Sun Through the Houses series in Synastry. In this video I'm going to talk about what it means to have your sun falling into someone's 7th house in Synastry, or their sun falling into your 7th house in Synastry. So this is super exciting. This is probably the most powerful overlay of them all. Well, they're all powerful in their own way, but this one tends to create quite a buzz and a lot of physical attraction, romantic attraction. This creates that feeling of, seeing someone across a crowded room and feeling like that person could be my spouse, okay? And now that general assessment doesn't always lead to a relationship, so it doesn't just mean that everybody who has their sun in your 7th is automatically some romantic partner of you, but there does seem to be a powerful feeling of attraction and compatibility that makes you think about that. So it is pretty common to date people or have romantic feelings for people whose sun is falling in your 7th, or if your sun is falling in their 7th as well. We tend to classify people as relationship material when their sun is falling in our 7th house. And it's quite a dynamic overlay too, though, so that's something that should be noted as sun in the Synastry overlays falling in the cardinal houses. So sun in 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th can be quite energizing. Same with sun falling in the fire houses too, in a different way, but specifically the 7th is probably the most sexual tension of the cardinal houses, where like it can create quite a buzz and quite a feeling of energy and being together that is really attractive, and it tends to make people feel starry-eyed and in love, and that feeling is not wrong, because so the 7th house is opposite our ascendant, the descendant. The people with their sun in our 7th, the way that they express their sun, their identity, their brightest light, their confidence, how they shine, their purpose, what they are heading towards in this lifetime, really balances us out and is really what we need, because we can over identify with the 1st house, the ascendant, and our sense of self, our identity, how we act, how we project our energy, and we need people who have a 7th house influence over us to balance our personality. So that's where the compatibility comes from, is not from being similar, like having someone's sun falling in our 1st, but from being opposing but complementary, right? So this is like having someone's sun opposite to your ascendant, and it will be probably even more powerful if their sun is exactly opposite your ascendant and right conjunct your descendant, but it's still going to be powerful at any degree in your 7th, and having that feeling of this person is what I need, and that's where that attraction is coming from. It's not because we're the same, it's because we're different, but we're complementary, and that is the nature of the opposition aspect, is that we actually are compatible, because we really have what the other needs, right? So with this overlay, that is kind of what is going on, and that tension, though, because it does come from being different, right? We're opposites with this tension. So it can be too much tension, that it can be uncomfortable. This overlay is best probably in a romantic relationship, because there can be a lot of romantic tension and sexual tension, and it's high energy, it's attractive, it's electric, it can be exhilarating. So it is probably best in a romantic or sexual relationship because of that tension that exists there. and the tension coming from, wanting to balance ourselves and, meet our other half. And so it could also be favorable for business relationships, though, relationships of all kinds, but probably the most comfortable manifestation of this overlay is going to be in a romantic relationship. The other types of relationship, the tension can cause rivalry. So that's something that's interesting about the seventh house, is that if we're not romantically involved with someone who is falling in our seventh house, we can actually find them to be very irritating, frustrating, or have they could actually be our enemy. That's something interesting about the seventh house, is open enemies, right? And then 12th is hidden secret enemies. But so if this isn't a romantic relationship, or even if it is and it goes sour, this person can cause us a lot of trouble. This could even be an enemy. So that's what's so interesting about the seventh, is how that works. How it's so good and it's so romantic and passionate, or we're enemies. So you always want to look out for that when you're seeing a seventh house dominated synastry, because you're very compatible, but it could turn to rivalry, because it's kind of competitive when we have someone's sun in our seventh house. We do, we constantly challenge each other. It's not like a super relaxing, comforting overlay. Actually, it's more stimulating, and it does promote growth. It does. The seventh house person really learns a lot about partnership and can sometimes need to submit to the sun, and like it teaches them how to be a partner, right? And you want to look at the sign of the ascendant and the sign of the descendant, what's going on here. So someone with like a Libra ascendant and Aries on the descendant, that's the kind of interplay we have, versus the opposite. If we have an Aries ascendant and a Libra descendant, like an Aries dominant personality with Aries on the first might have more difficulty with someone's sun in their seventh, versus the opposite. Or it actually could be the opposite. It could even be that a Libra ascendant is less comfortable with someone's Aries sun in their descendant, right? So you want to look at the signs that are happening here to see the energies that are coming out. But it's generally going to be a significant relationship when we have someone's sun falling into our seventh. This is one that is potentially unforgettable. There's a lot of romantic feelings, and it doesn't do as well in a casual relationship or a hookup. Like, you could have someone's sun in your fifth house and it works really well as a short-term affair, and it's all romantic and passionate. But when someone's sun is in your seventh, it's a little bit different. It's more serious, and I think because of Saturn's exaltation in Libra, Libra is actually, they're known as like the flirt or the socialite, but they're very serious about relationships. So it, just speaking on seventh house in general, seventh house themes, this is more of an aspect of a serious relationship. It works well in that form. Like I said, a marriage type relationship, it does work well. But you're going to challenge each other, right? It's going to be passionate. It's going to be electric. It's not going to stand still. The seventh house is a more outgoing house. It's the outer world. So you can be more social too with someone whose sun is falling in your seventh. And for a certain type of person too, it's been said in some of my books that when you have someone's sun falling into your seventh, you can become, like, if you're already a passive type of person, this overlay, it can make you subdue parts of your personality even more. So it's interesting, when someone's sun is falling into our first, it's kind of the opposite. They energize our personality and that you become more bigger, version of yourself. And when someone's sun is falling into your seventh, if you have already, more passive tendencies, this overlay can really subdue you. It can, you can become each other, right? Because of the tension there, it's like you can lose yourself in a bond like this. And, it's natural to, when we partner with people, to harmonize. We do, like, sometimes we naturally just subdue certain parts of ourselves to harmonize more with another. That's something you can see with this overlay, is that in certain types of people, they, because they care so much about this relationship, there's so much being felt, they can, yeah, maybe lose themselves in this connection, not own enough of their identity, and just become what they feel like the other person needs. So it can be very romantic and attractive and flirty because, we're getting along so good and everything, but just be aware to not lose yourself in this relationship if that is, some of your natural tendencies. And then, a certain type of personality, though, it's going to have the opposite effect where that will start happening, and then out of like a chain reaction, you will actually become more of you. So it just depends on the person's natal chart, whether they're going to allow their identity to be like sucked out here, or actually allow it to blossom even more through that kind of electric tension that comes out here. So yeah, it's a really interesting one. It does tend to be significant. You'll look back on relationships with this overlay, and it feels romantic, it feels significant, it feels important. It's not one to be overlooked in its significance. They can both feel a lot for each other. When someone's sun is in your 7th, you can feel like this is it. This is the one for me. They are my other half. And that is a powerful feeling. So a lot of attraction when you see someone that is just your type. And then in turn, the sun person really feels that attention, and they can feel irresistibly attracted to the house person as well. It feels good to be seen in that way, and there's a lot of attraction with this. And if the rest of the charts show compatibility, this could definitely be a marriage or a long-term relationship, or definitely a significant relationship of some kind. So yeah, I'd love to know your experience of this overlay. Was it like this? Was it not like this? Let me know in the comments. Okay, love you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.